You see there Ukrainian defenders fighting relentlessly against the Russian ballistic missiles and drones. At the same time, Donald Trump in the White House announces a $200 million ballroom. Donald Trump is done talking to Vladimir Putin. It's too hard to bring peace in Ukraine, Donald Trump says. Donald Trump says he's just being sarcastic when he said he would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. I guess the same way Donald Trump was being sarcastic when he said he would bring down prices. Inflation is surging. We got that data yesterday. But back to Ukraine for a moment. The death toll from the past 48 hours, over 16 Ukrainians have died in Kyiv, Sumy, and other cities across the great brave nation of Ukraine, as Donald Trump has all but given up efforts to defend and help Ukraine and has essentially capitulated to Vladimir Putin. 2 of the dead were children. And again, the White House, $200 million ballroom, everybody. And Donald Trump says he's going to have donors do it. So what? Is it going to be brought to you by the Jeff Bezos ballroom, the Mark Zuckerberg ballroom? Come on. As Governor Newsom posts the following, while all the districts pay extra for groceries and everyday goods, the White House is excited to announce that the Capitol is creating a grand ballroom for opulent parties. May the odds be ever in your favor. I mean, that's exactly what it looks like. And by the way, doesn't Jesse Waters also look like the guy from Hunger Games as well? Oh, and then Donald Trump yesterday, again, while Ukraine is under assault, Donald Trump brought in the new leaders of his initiative to do a presidential fitness test for children. So Donald Trump signed this presidential fitness test for children. Do you know who Donald Trump's appointing to lead it? Do we have his sex offender registry number? Oh, there it is right there. Lawrence Taylor, who raped a 16-year-old girl. Yeah, Donald Trump has a rapist, 16-year-old girl rapist, who raped a 16-year-old girl. Lawrence Taylor, there he is right there, pled guilty. He's a sex offender. He is now leading. I'm not even sure if it's legal for him to have a position around like underage girls and people. But there he is in the White House. Donald Trump, at the same time, is saying that Jeffrey Epstein stole underage girls from Donald Trump's spa. Those were his underage girls. Virginia Giuffre was his property, Donald Trump saying, but Epstein stole the girls. They stole the help. Like, Trump's treating them like their property and admitting that Epstein took underage girls from Mar-a-Lago, who Epstein eventually sex trafficked. So Donald Trump just brings in a registered sex offender into the White House, raped a 16-year-old girl, and you're in charge of the kids' fitness test event. Seriously? Again, I don't view this as a blue, red, independent, Democrat, Republican issue. I view this as a good versus evil issue. What are we even talking about here? Although Lawrence Taylor's excuse is, she was a prostitute. I didn't pick her up on the playground. I didn't know how old she was. I just dialed the prostitute. She happened to be 16 years old. I was speaking with her pimp. I'm not making this up. This is what Lawrence said. The pimp never told me that she was 16. Seriously. Back to Ukraine. 300 drones, 8 ballistic missiles, 16 dead, 27 locations. This is the real world. Don't look away. This is the real world. So as Donald Trump says, oh, he was being sarcastic about peace in Ukraine. As Donald Trump, this is the real world. Here's what it looks like. This is going to be tough to watch, but we got to watch it. This is what the streets of Ukraine look like, Donald, because of you, because of your pathetic weakness, because of your obsequiousness and your capitulation to Vladimir Putin. Watch this. Horrific stuff. Oh, and by the way, when Donald Trump left that press conference where he appointed, or he was putting Lawrence Taylor in charge of the kids event, very weird. Donald Trump did a weird, looked like he couldn't control his shoulder, and he kind of jutted up like that. Let me show you what went down. I think he's deeply sick, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, between the ankles and between the swollen hand, I think he's deeply sick. I don't know though. It's my opinion. Here, play this clip of him kind of spasming. Here, play this clip.
Can I ask you about writing, Mr. President?
Governor Newsom's office wrote the following. They call him President Kankles. And it's about the presidential fitness test. And Newsom goes, "We'd love to see presidential Kankles pass it." But Newsom wrote. Should be noted as well that Donald Trump is removing from the Smithsonian any references to the fact that he was impeached twice. So there's an exhibit there that talks about the history of impeachment and court proceedings. Trump is destroying those artifacts and destroying those exhibits from the museum, as our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, says. Erasing history, another characteristic of autocrats and dictators. Governor Newsom's press office goes, "Trump's censoring the Smithsonian like it's the Epstein list. History gets erased when it implicates him." Now, I'm going to do a whole other video on this in 90 minutes, so watch my video on Canada that I'm going to do, and I'm going to highlight Premier Doug Ford of Ontario. Strong statements from Premier Ford about not backing down and do not capitulate to Donald Trump. Canada did not do a BS deal with the United States. Good for Canada, good for Carney, good for all of Canada, frankly. Canada's strong. And so Trump imposed 35% tariffs on Canada. Although, to be fair, about 85% of the goods or so are covered by the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement. So the 35% tariffs are on the non-USMCA compliant products as well. It's still expensive, though. Trump tariffed Taiwan 20%, New Zealand 15%, Switzerland randomly 39%, Cambodia 19%, Turkey 15%, Vietnam 20%, Indonesia 19%, Sri Lanka 20%. Very strange stuff. Premier Doug Ford urging Prime Minister Carney, stand your ground, do not roll over, hit that guy back hard. That's what you got to do. Meanwhile, Virginia Giuffre's family wants to know, what do you know, Donald? Because you seem to now be aware, based on the timeline, about Epstein sex trafficking Giuffre. Giuffre was sex trafficked. She was 16 years old, turning 17, underage girl. She's previously homeless. And she was working in Mar-a-Lago as a position called towel girl at Mar-a-Lago. And that's when Ghislaine and Epstein walked over, saw her, offered her to work with Epstein, underage, sex trafficked her around the world to rich and powerful men, destroyed her life. She recently died by suicide. Donald Trump was friends with Epstein through 2004, 2005 at least, possibly longer, but 2004, 2005. And then so when Donald Trump was asked about it on the plane and in the press conference, he said Epstein stole them from me. He stole them, like as though Virginia Giuffre was property. She stole them from me, Donald Trump said. And then the family's like, why are you calling her stolen? Why are you treating her like property? I mean, isn't that the definition of sex trafficking? Kind of taking somebody like property and traffic them to be sexually assaulted? You stole my help. Very sickening. Here's a headline that's worth repeating. Spencer Akimian says, don't worry. The good news, workers in Vegas, you're not going to owe any tax on your 50% reduced cash tips that you never reported anyway. Good work, Nevada, voting for Donald Trump. Las Vegas tipped workers say their income has fallen by more than half as tourism plunges. But you get the no tax on tips that you were never reporting anyway. Bravo, bravo, as my baby girl goes. Me and Jimena go, bravo, bravo, and she claps her hands like that. Las Vegas tipped workers say their income has fallen, so your no tax on tips is meaningless because Donald Trump has destroyed your lives and businesses like we warned you. Inflation surging. By the way, we're not even getting the accurate inflation data. The consumer price index is ingesting very little data right now as Trump fired all the data people. So a lot of it's just estimates because I don't know about you. When I go to grocery stores or shops, I see prices up 30%, 40% from where it was even a few months ago at this point. But not all the stuff. Some of it's up 10%, but I don't see it just up. I see it up significantly. But inflation jumped 2.6% in June, its highest level since February. Core PCE inflation ticked up to 2.8%. Inflation, as Hakimian says, it's just a straight line up since April when tariffs began. And this is with the government explicitly removing actual inflation measures and replacing them with inflation estimates, aka lying. Folks, we have an inflation problem. U.S. job cuts are up 75% over last year. So no wonder party identification right now. Democrats 46%, Republicans 43%. This is a big shift. From last time, it was Democrats 43%, Republicans 48% in 2024. Actually, more people identifying as Democrats right now. Here you have Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's chief propagandist, begging for Donald Trump to receive a Nobel Peace Prize. This is Donald Trump is shoulder to shoulder with the atrocities being committed by Netanyahu right now. But Donald Trump says that, Donald Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize. He goes, Bibi gave me a recommendation. Yes, Benjamin Netanyahu is giving a recommendation for the Nobel Peace Prize. To me, is kind of like you appointing Lawrence Taylor to run a children's fitness group. But here's what Caroline says. Play this clip.
The president has now ended conflicts between Thailand and Cambodia, Israel and Iran, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, India and Pakistan, Serbia and Kosovo, and Egypt and Ethiopia. This means President Trump has brokered, on average, about one peace deal or ceasefire per month during his 6 months in office. It's well past time that President Trump was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize.
You know, and then there's just the gaslighting here. Caroline Leavitt claims that all of the experts were wrong. There's no inflation and everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. No inflation. Come on. We all know that there's a lot of inflation. To stop with the lies. These are just a bunch of bad, dumb liars. These are the worst human beings to run anything, yet alone the government, and impact our lives. Truly putrid humans. Here, play this clip.
The same so-called experts claimed that President Trump's tariffs would spike inflation and hurt American consumers. But consumer spending growth just accelerated and inflation remains right on track. For the past 5 straight months, core inflation has come in below market expectation and remains in line with the Fed's 2% inflation target.
Well, there you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe and let's get to 6 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.